I want to give all praise Yahbashim Yeshua Bashim Rakakadash. Honors, elders, apostles, men, truth, like-minded ones, relating to truth and knowledge, so we know this truth and knowledge. And the water Yahbashim Yeshua put his spirit, elders, apostles, men, and the truth, like-minded ones, teach the truth and knowledge, know this truth and knowledge. And call Yahbashim Yeshua Bashim Rakakadash, give all praise Yahbashim Yeshua Bashim Rakakadash. There's a quick video report right here.
Over securing the southern section of that border, an effort Governor Greg Abbott says is a constitutional right to defend Texas from an invasion. News Nation month. The troops will help handle the influx of people entering the U.S. illegally at a popular crossing point in Eagle Pass. It's the latest move in Texas's battle with the Biden administration over securing the southern section of that border, an effort Governor Greg Abbott says is a constitutional right to defend Texas from an invasion. News Nation correspondent Allie Bradley is following the situation at the border. Is live for us tonight. Allie, what can you tell us about this new facility?
Yeah, hey Elizabeth. So first let's start with the Biden administration basically handing Governor Abbott and the state of Texas a victory here. We know that Attorney General Ken Paxton gave DHS until the end of last week to prove that they own some of that land that Texas seized. We're talking about Shelby Park. Well, that deadline came and went pretty silently. Again, Texas kind of coming out on top here, and Governor Abbott moving full steam ahead with that new base that you're talking about there, Elizabeth. So here we go. We're looking at about 2,300 troops will be able to be housed in this forward operating base. We're told that it's going to span about 80 acres, and really what that shows, it is the most structurally sound and largest kind of military support base that we're seeing the governor put up under Operation Lone Star since his expansions really started. Now, when it comes to what we can expect with this forward operating base, here's what Governor Abbott had to say during his announcement.
This will increase the ability for a larger number of Texas Military Department personnel in Eagle Pass to operate more effectively and more efficiently. Before now, National Guard have been scattered across this entire region in cramped quarters, away from fellow soldiers and guard, sometimes traveling long distances to be able to do their job. What this is going to do is to dramatically improve the conditions for our soldiers.
Okay, so who is going to be making up that 2,300 soldier troop there? We're talking about Texas National Guard, obviously, Texas State Guard, but we've also got governors from all over sending troops as well. We know Governor Ron DeSantis and Governor Kristi Noem are both sending resources, but recently we've also heard Georgia Governor Brian Kemp say that he's going to be deploying some National Guard soldiers to Texas. We also know that New Hampshire's Governor Chris Sununu is also going to be sending over a handful of National Guard soldiers there also to support the governor's moves. Elizabeth, obviously something that has a lot of eyeballs on right now as the governor continues to expand there across Shelby Park. And we know that they're working in a multi-phase plan. So Shelby Park was phase one. We know that they are going to be expanding that, and they will continue as much as they need to. Elizabeth.
All right, Allie Bradley reporting live from the border. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for watching.
That was News Nation. Texas Governor Greg Abbott unveils a plan for a new military base outside Eagle Pass, lays in the battle against Biden administration over securing the southern border. The plan was announced while Republicans, governors from several states pledged to send their National Guards troops to help with the migrant surge in Texas. 2,300 state, local from Texas. Then you have other governors are teaming up to send some National Guards. I believe some from here in Florida. They're going to be going over to Texas. And various other states are going to send support relating to Texas, relating to controlling, relating to the migrant influx in Texas, Eagle Pass. The plans were announced while Republicans, governors from several states pledged to send their National Guard troops to help with the migrant surge in Texas. So that was a News Nation report. So So that Texas, so the border situation is still a major hot topic. You have over 37 million relating to flash flood in California. Torrential rain is still pounding California, areas of California, northern and southern California. So let me see what else. You have this bubonic case relating to Oregon. Did a video on that. Somebody contacted that. Last one was in 2015, I believe. Fairbanks, Alaska, I believe. 2015. You had a lithium fire in southern France relating to a lithium lithium plant exploded earlier. You have an issue relating to farmers' protests continue in India. And you also have it in various other countries related to farmers' protests over different things. Get a scripture real quick related to the farmers one. Get a scripture for each of these topics, Lord willing. Second Ezra 15 and 16. For there shall be sedition among men regarding invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So they're taking the course of their actions, putting their hands, and not regarding kings and princes, man. Sedition goes insurrection, violent uprising. Protest are part of that. Scripture says uproars of the people. There should be earthquakes and uproars of the people. So that's part of that civil unrest, commotions, disturbances relating to the farmers' issues. That's a big one in India and various other countries, I believe they reported on. That was a YN report. And that affects what? Your food, man. Go to 2 Ezra 6 and 22. Suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. That relates to supplies, victuals. I'm going to read a few verses up. And it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh, which is near, to visit them that dwell upon the earth, man. So the Lord is beginning to visit the earth which he has made, man. So he's drawing nigh by having what? Fearful sight signs from the heaven, man. In Luke 21. So that's part of the drawing nigh. Warnings and different things. You see more chariot sightings. There was a chariot sighting in Tucson, Arizona, man. Tucson, Arizona, I believe. And you seeing more chariot sightings, man. You seeing more wonders and warnings and signs on the earth relating to floods, torrential rain, a very peculiar weather pattern going on across the country, especially this time of year, from the west coast to the east coast, and the east coast to the west coast, and everything in the middle. So the Lord is drawing nigh, man, relating to warnings and signs before his coming, man. And I will begin to make an inquisition of them. Inquisition is inquiry, man, of them, what they, I will begin to make an inquisition of them, what they be that hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, because they're in charge of the earth. Proverbs 29 and 2, when the righteous are in authority, people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, people mourn, man. So the people are mourning. Why? Because unrighteous authority is ruling this earth, man. And when the afflictions of Zion shall be fulfilled, man. 20. And when the world that shall begin to vanish away. You see this world beginning to vanish, man. It's on the decline, man. Shall be finished. Then I will shew these tokens. Tokens goes to signs, and the book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. So the books, the seal is broken relating to these tokens being open, and you're seeing the signs happen, man. And the children of a year old shall speak of their voices, and women shall spring forth untimely children premature in 3 or 4 months, and they shall live and be raised up, man. Let me see what else we have. 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall be found empty. Victual supplies, that goes to famine and shortages, food shortages. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which, when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. A distinct sound, horrible sound, man. And 24. And at that time, friends shall fight one another, Egyptian versus the Egyptian, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. Go to 19:2 of Isaiah. So friends are going to be like enemies in that day. A neighbor relating to invasion. So neighbor is not going to have respect upon neighbor. Going to 2nd Ezra 15, talking about that. And at that time, friends fight one another against another like enemies. And the earth shall stand in fear of those that dwell therein, man. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours shall they not run. Now you could talk about actual physical waters standing still, in society it would be like a faucet running, man. And that faucet the water is beginning to thin, and eventually it's going to cut off, man. You know what I mean? So the faucet, the society is like the running waters, man, relating to that faucet. So it's beginning to eventually till it's cut off, man. The earth shall stand in fear in them that dwell therein, because of the state and condition, the things that's going to happen. The fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours shall not run. Whosoever remaineth from all these, and these goes to the horrors that's going to happen in the last times, man. You know what I mean? The horrors that's going to happen. The things, the persecutions, the World War III, Jacob's Trouble, war with martial law, the chariots coming back, and different things, man. These are the horrors that's going to happen in the latter times, man. Whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee, they shall escape and see my salvation, the end of the world, in the Esau's world. For Esau's the end of the world, and Jacob's the beginning of what? That followeth, man. So the end of Esau's age. Go to 2nd Ezra 14, talks about the evil shall increase even more, man. 2nd Ezra 14, around 17 on down, man. So these evils going to increase, man. Even things that never were seen, man. But ones who endures, the same shall be saved. Pertaining to these things, man. All right. And you're seeing the signs, man. You're seeing the Lord visiting the earth, man. Measure thou town diligently itself. How you measure, correlating it with what's going on in society, putting it with the scriptures, man. What else we got? See what's on the news. Houthis claim to shoot down the U.S. drone after a weekend of self-defense strikes by U.S. So that's still going on with the Houthis in the U.S. The Red Sea, the crisis relating to the Red Sea area, Yemen, Sana'a, which is capital city, Sana'a. Russians claim to complete control of Ukrainian city of Avdiivka. Historians rank Biden as the 14th best president and Trump the rank last. And really, Biden's not that much better than Trump, to be honest with you. Brazilian President Lula likens Gaza to compared to the Holocaust. 5 bikers attacked by a cougar. 60-year-old woman injured. What else we have? We had a fight at a Waffle House. One woman deleted and 5 others wounded. So the reports. Nikki Haley calls out Trump for staying silent on the Navalny's death. Various news reports. More storms. See in background flooding relating to in California, northern and southern California. You've seen trees uprooted, flooding, rock slides, mudslides. You know, things sinking. You've seen I think it was a store. The size of the building was began to break apart, man. So torrential rain, flooding. Let me see what else we have. Here's a report that China is selling off a lot of U.S. bonds, stocks, and treasuries, man. See if I can get that. Yeah, Chinese investors sold $21.2 billion in U.S. equities and treasuries. The U.S. Treasurer said Wednesday Chinese investors sold at an all-record $5.1 billion U.S. stocks that month. That's October report. Why is U.S. selling? Why is China selling U.S. treasuries? One theory, they have to sell these treasuries to help support yuan. He said selling treasuries is a fast way to whip up U.S. dollars, and China will sometimes use extra dollars to go out on the global market and buy up their own currency. That's artificial pump up its value. That's one theory. China states that banks have in the past year or so to slow The yuan's decline against the U.S. dollar. Markets have often seen moves as a sign of official attempts to relieve pressure on the currency, though banks could also be trading for their own accounts. That's December. That's Reuters. Japan owns a lot of China, a lot of U.S. treasuries. China, Japan, China and Japan. Total 7.6 trillion hold of foreign between mainland China and Japan. They held the greatest portions, with China holding 868.9 billion U.S. dollars. U.S. securities and other foreign holders include oil exporting countries such as Caribbean and bank centers. Man. One report saying that they're taking a loss, you know what I mean, and it ruins the credibility of that dollar, man. You know what I mean? So that was a report. Let me see. So the end run, it's not good for either side, man. Especially U.S., man. You know what I mean? Because the instability and the stability, and most of all the credibility, are at a high risk, man. You know. Let me see. What happens if China dumps the relating to the treasuries? Some analysts, investors fear China could dump these treasuries in retaliation, and that this weaponization of its holding would send interest rates higher, potentially hurting the economic growth. The amounts of treasuries China holds has been decreasing since 2017. So the interest rates, they're trying to raise interest rates again, you know what I mean? Which will affect the banks and different things, you know? And it's not a good thing, man. Because what's keeping relating to the U.S. is quantitative easing, that continuous pumping and making money, man. You know what I mean? Printing money, man. Remember, it's like it's giving the illusion of wealth, but it's actually accumulation of thick clay of debt, man. Go to Habit 2 and 6 real quick, because that's what it is, man. It's giving the optics of looking of wealth and being look like you have, but actually you really have nothing, man. Habakkuk, go to 2 and 6. Shall not these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe unto them that increaseth that which is not his? Man, that's a warning. How long to him that ladeth himself with thick clay? And that's that thick clay, this debt, to make itself from the optics or as a guise to look like wealth, is actually what it is. It's a bunch of debt, man. And really, the U.S. is broke, man. They broke. So they have to give the appearance of being strong, man, you know, through this quantitative easing and different things, man. But actually, it broke, man. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of when economically certain things are going to manifest to begin to see, obviously, what's going to happen, collapse, man. You know, so go to Job 13 and 4. Go to Job 13 and 4. Ye are forgers of lies. So you forgers, falsifying, fraudulent. You know what I mean? That's what it is, man. Fraudulently, financially fraudulent and forgery, man. making something look like legitimate, but actually it's not, man. Read that again. But ye forgers of lies, of physicians of no value. So physician goes to doctors, man. So financial doctors, put it from a financial aspect, you're of no value, man. You know what I mean? It's fraudulent. It's not genuine. It's not authentic. So it's falsified, man. That's what that goes to, from an economical aspect. And now, as far as these nations, man, nations are mad because nations are mad. KJV. "51 and 7. Babylon had been the golden cup in the Lord's hand and had made all the earth drunken." So all the earth is drunken. What's in that cup? The ideology, philosophies, the traditions, the customs of the West. That represents that wine in that cup, man. And the people have been sipping, they've been drinking, they drunken off that. The nations have drunken off her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Now they're beginning to break off that grogginess, break off that stupor, the sleep, and break off that being of drunkenness. Now they're in their sober state and they're realizing that it's not what it's not. It's all sham, man. Now the nations are mad. They're mad in different levels in different ways, man. Economically, financially, different things. They realize everything relating to what they thought is a lie, man. And that's why the nations are mad, you know. But suddenly, Babylon is suddenly falling, destroyed, and how for her? Take balm, which is ointment for her, ointment for pain. But if so, she may be healed. She can't be healed, man. You know what I mean? You can't heal Babylon. Number 9, we would have healed Babylon and bruised Babylon. That's America, man. The daughter of Babylon, passed down by Great Britain, which is the 7th, to passing down the torch to the 8th, which is America, man. Because out of Great Britain, America comes that power, that new power, which was the torch passed down from Great Britain to America, man. And also that new power head would be what you would call the revised Rome, man. Roman Greco, man. You know what I mean? Through a new power, which would be America, man. The traditions, the tradition, customs of Rome, but through a new revised system, man, which would be through America, man. All right. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. Scripture talks about, arise, ye depart, for this is not a place of rest. It is corrupted and shall destroy you, even with a sword of destruction. Micah 2 and 10, and let us go everyone into their own country. That goes to people going to their own kind, their own place, their own kind, man. Separation, man. You know, for her judgment reacheth into the heavens and is lifted up even to the sky. So the Lord remembers certain things that Babylon have done, the wickedness, the iniquities, man. But everybody is drunken off of relating to Babylon and her ways, man. The Western philosophy. Even people mimicking copy off the ways of Babylon, because the Western philosophy has been pushed globally among these respected nations, man, where they took and they have drunken the wine relating to the philosophy, ideologies, and, you know, taking that form and customs, man, mimicking copy off of them. For example, these other countries, Japan and different other countries, man, China and different other countries, following the ways of the West. And now they realize it's not what it's cracked up to be. Now the nations are mad. And what they're going to do when they get mad, the Lord's going to put a spirit on them to send these missiles, man. You know, they're going to come back on Babylon, man. These nations, even the allied nations, man. There was a thing relating to sanction. France was going to sanction, I think France and U.S. was going to sanction Israel for something. So that goes to the division relating to, I seen that last week. That relates to the division between these allied nations, man. You know what I mean? Go to Daniel relating to partly strong, partly weak. They're partly together, but they're not fully together, man. You know what I mean? So there's a form of division, man, even within the allies, man. And they're going to turn related to, go to Revelations 17 and go to Revelations 17 and give you an example. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. That relates to NATO and the EU, man. The one I was talking about was in Daniel relating to around 39 to 41, man. You know what I mean? Talking about partly iron, partly miry, partly strong. You know what I mean? Really partly strong, partly vulnerable, man. Because they're not going to completely mesh. The 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, they shall hate the whore and shall make her desolate and naked, man. So they're going to expose her, make her naked, man. You know what I mean? They're going to turn against her, man. You know, and shall eat the flesh with the burn her with fire, related to the missiles. They're going to turn against her through the missiles. The Lord is going to put the spirit on these nations to turn against Babylon. $39. I'm gonna read it real quick. So I was quoting it. And after thee shall another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, where shall bear rule over all the earth, and the fourth beast shall be the strongest iron. That's Rome, man. For as iron breaketh in pieces and subdue all things, and as iron that breaketh all these shall break in pieces and bruise, man. You know what I mean? So the fourth is going to be it's going to be a lot stronger than the previous three. That's going to be the final, man. And that fourth one is going to go down and be revised again through the revised Roman Greco and continue on, but through a new power, you know, which will be America, man. And the toes and the feet, and part iron and partly clay. So it's partly strong, partly weak, actually. So the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. Partly a miry clay. It's partly broken. So it's not gonna mesh. It's not gonna mix well together, man. And that's these allies in America, man. They're not really mixing well and meshing well. They'll work together to a certain degree, but they're not going to really come together and be fully on the same pages, man. You know what I mean? Whereas thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. Two elements of opposition, man. They're not going to mix well. That's the allies in these other nations. They're not going to mix well. You know what I mean? Because partly one side is partly strong, and other side is partly weak and vulnerable, man. So they're not going to mesh, man. And you're seeing the weak points. You know, you're seeing it. The division's part of that. You know. Let me see. This is something short relating to the scriptures. It's relating to some lose a little bit. Let me see. Go back to where I was at. So the border issue still still a problem. You know what I mean? And relating to the financial economics, that's something to keep an eye on, because you're seeing a lot of financial instability. The banks, you're seeing a lot of banks closing, you know what I mean, as well, man. So, economically, in all aspects, you have to be watching, man. You know what I mean? Scripture says, "Watch, for you know not when the Son of Man come," man. Scripture talks about Romans 13:11. High time to wake out of sleep, because our salvation may be nearer than we believe. Let me get it on that. And knowing the time that it's high time to wake out of sleep, for now our salvation is nearer than we believe. So things are coming closer and closer, man, as it continues on. You know what I mean? So it's time to get out of the state of sleep and slumber and pay attention to the times that the seasons we're in, man. You know what I mean? This is something sure. I hope it helps in some way. I'll give all praise. Yahweh Shem Yahshua B'Shem Mekagadas Zayah wa Shalom.